What's up, ecosystem? Welcome back to ATI Auto Business. It is Thursday. It's noon Central Time, and we're live. That means it's time for Dispatching Live. We're going to look at the load boards. We got load board news. We're going to look at the mobile apps. We're going to look at the routes. We're going to talk about brokers, dispatchers, carriers, whatever it is that you want to talk about. We may search for loads. We may just talk. We may have a special guest. We never know exactly. It's 90 minutes of... Well, it's the most real you can get without actually having you sit next to us while we book a dispatch. Which actually somebody said, can you dispatch live? And can we, can you add live dispatching to dispatching live? Well, for privacy concerns, what we'll do is send us your dispatch sheets or whatever maybe that just happened. We'll redact it and then we can talk about it. But obviously we can't put a company's information live on the screen while we dispatch. So we'll come as close as we can. Do me a favor, jump in the live chat, say hello. Thank you so much. We'll be going through the live chat saying hello as the program progresses here on ATI Auto Business. Please do leave a like. You can click share, click copy, grab that YouTube link, send it to a friend. And if you're just not sure what's happening, maybe it's been a year since you never addressed that. Where'd you get that idea? Now talk to Ty. 417-483-2764. And you might say, where did I get the idea that I had? Let's talk again before I go too far, before I buy the wrong trailer, this and that. Right? We got a lot of programs to back up what we're talking about. Tuesdays, Fridays. Yesterday we had live carrier advice. Alright, let's do this. Where's my co-host? She's your favorite and mine. She's here. Look at this. Here's a picture.
Hey!
Hey,
now
Sue.
you can see me, huh?
What's going on?
Not much. Pulling my hair out. What's
left? This is exciting.
Yeah, I know. We got a picture. I finally figured out how to at least put a picture on. Oh my
God. That only took 2 years.
Wasn't even sure if it was going to work, and all of a sudden it came up, and you're like, there it is.
Wow. All right, well, cool. That's awesome. So, all right, well then, coming off of last show... what I did is, and you can take the screen over when you're ready. Is on the last show, last show was kind of weird. We were coming off of we hit a broker twice.
Yeah.
And obviously we don't want to spend every show hitting the same broker, or business, or whatever it is. So I realized, what we did last show is we kind of took a look at load board news. So we're going to continue kind of the load board news type. Let's see, which picture do I want here?
Hey, Danny. Danny's on here too.
Let's do this. Hide. There we go. So we're gonna do some more load board newsy stuff, because it's good to look at the load boards, what's happening, the comparisons, the features, the volume. So let's go. Yeah, you're right. What do we got here? We've got at the top of the chat. Oh, Ty's in here. What's up, Ty? Oh, Ty's in love with you.
Thanks, Fritz.
Vince is here. What's up, dog? We got Murphy Auto Transport Services. Sue is in the live chat as well. Fritz Duvall says, hey, what's going on? What's up, Fritz? Thanks for tuning in, saying hello. And Vance, of course. Hey, what's going on? Douglas is here. Oh, yeah, I did get a couple emails. I don't think I got through all my emails. And so I whiffed that. Yeah. Okay, well, so Douglas, something to share for the show. All right. Yeah, I'll let's see here. Douglas. Yeah, sorry, Douglas. I will try to pull that up as well. Something to share on the show. Okay. What happens is there's so much pre-show and post-show and all this stuff. I just need a blender, and I'll just blend it all. That's actually Dispatching Live. Dispatching Live is an auto transport blender. Ants is here. Artie, what's going on? Hello. Thanks for tuning in. Chris Chamberlain is here. He loves this. He comes here to decompress.
So do I.
I tend to get a little wound up. I'm not always proud of, 90 minutes is a long time. And so I'm not always extremely proud of my take, but I mean, this is as real as it gets, isn't it? I mean,
Yes, pretty much. I think it's as real as it gets.
I think this is as real as it gets. Yeah, yeah. And I look at other stuff to see. There's definitely other types of reality. But as far as load board reality, this is as real as it gets. I'm pretty sure. Danny B, what's going on? And if I go overboard or underboard, let me know. I'm trying to stay on the board, riding the wave. That's where I want to be. Elena is here. What's up, Elena?
Hey, Alina.
Thanks for tuning in, saying hello. We love you guys. You know, really, it means a lot. I read the name, I click the bell, but it means a lot. It really does. Because if we had to do this show by ourselves week after week, Sue, would we keep doing it?
No.
Exactly. We wouldn't.
We gotta have everybody here. That makes the whole party go away right there.
And I tell you, seriously, even at this point, I still can't believe it's not 100 people watching. I think that's bananas. Do you?
Well, you always say there's more people watching than we actually know, right?
There is, but I don't know if it's 100.
Well,
like
yeah.
I'll watch these like. I have two boys, and they watch these crazy live streams where they're going to announce a new stuffed animal. There's like 10,000 people watching.
Right. I don't think there's 10,000 though.
Well,
50?
I mean, but
hey,
I don't know.
Shoot for the stars.
But I mean, Central Dispatch has how many carriers?
Well, I mean,
15,000.
Yeah, that's what you always say, right? 15?
Okay, that's just the carriers. You add brokers, dispatch agents, and everybody else. What are we at? 25,000 people?
I would think, yeah.
We can't get 100. What's up with? I mean, that is. I know. Ty's like, don't talk about this stuff, but it's important. This industry, I'll tell you what, and I did this yesterday with Brian Riker. We were talking about like IATA and AHA and associations. Nobody wants to say these things out loud. Okay? Like, oh my gosh, you can't name that association. Well, they have the same problems. Is that everybody's looking at each other thinking, why are we still doing the same thing year after year? Why do we show up for the duck hunt year after year with the same 3 vendors? Why?
Yeah.
Dealers don't. Let me tell you, we went to NADA last month. Ty just shared, there's a brand new conference. I never even heard of it, just announced. All the other verticals in automotive are sprinting into the future. And what are we doing? Oh my gosh, I see a bird. Let's shoot it. Yeah, we'll talk about business later. Let's shoot that bird. Get on Facebook. I know, right? I'm not supposed to say these things, right? Jay, how dare you say these things? But everybody knows it's true. We are in one crazy industry. Let's look at the load board. How are we doing? How's the load board doing?
The load board, as everybody knows, sucks. It's been horrible. I don't know about anybody else. Yes, there's 37,000 loads on the board. By the way, it went down about, what, 5,000? I think we were at 41,889 last week.
All right.
So, not quite 5, but close to that. And it hasn't made it any better, or I actually think it's worse. I don't know about anybody else. I'm sure Alina and Vance are going to back me up on that because they're 2 of my dispatchers too. And we all have been struggling and crying, and we have no hair left. What more you want me to tell you? So.
Oh, really? You're having a hard time?
Oh my good God. For the last 2 weeks, it has been horrible. And we're almost at the middle of February and nothing has come back yet. Like, we should already be like moving forward with better rates, more loads, that kind of thing, especially after having 2 weeks of snow and ice. I thought it was going to get better too, and it really hasn't yet. And it's not just the load rates are low, because they are.
Right.
But they're also
rates
just
are
like
bad.
You can't get a full load to go anywhere or do anything. I mean, we just managed to get, and that's the thing. This is what kills me. Usually we book people out the day ahead so that we're already done, or we may have just one hanging over to find that last car. You know what I mean? We are actually literally finding the cars almost an hour before they're getting there. It's that bad because the loads are just not there. Or we're taking only two just to get out of the one place we're in to get to another place that hopefully has better loads. Like Memphis. Usually Memphis isn't that bad, but it's bad. And like sat there all day long. Thought we had a load that fell through on us, of course. That's another thing we're having happen is a lot of loads are falling through or getting picked up right before we get there. It's happened twice with a new over the last 2 weeks. They're double booking the same load to two transporters. Vance had it happen to him this week. He had just verified them. And they showed up to pick them up, and they'd just been picked up an hour prior to that, and a new had double booked them. Jen had the same thing happen last week. And I don't know. I mean, we all knew that Anu was having problems with staff. I mean, we talked about this a couple months ago that you can't get through to them, right? So I think they've got new staff and then people are screwing up stuff. So watch it if you get a load for Anu. I don't know if it's going to do you any good to verify it right before they get there because that happened in Vance and it was only an hour difference. So just cross your fingers and hope for the best, I guess. Um, and then like I said, we're sometimes having to take just two just to get them down the road. Like I took a 2-pack on Tuesday night that just, happened to show up. Don't get me wrong, they were 95 cents a mile, but that doesn't pay, you know what I mean? So what I did is he took it, got there, I reloaded him right the same day to take another load that was only another 200 miles for $750. So that made it a $1,350 day instead of just a $650 day. So sometimes that's what you got to do. And that's only if it works out. Like my driver drove all night long. He got it picked up. He was there at 4 o'clock in the morning, dropped. So he was ready to pick up again at 8 and keep moving. Now, okay, so you guys know I'm not talking that he's driving legally. It's just so you know, because that's not possible. But you got to do what you got to do, right? So. But yeah, that's what we're dealing with. No loads, and if they are on here, they're crappy loads.
All right. Wonderful analysis, evaluation, and let's give her, ladies and gentlemen, let's give Sue a round of applause.
For the craptastic load boards.
It's craptastic. Okay, so, all right, you said rates are bad.
Rates are lower. I mean, they're still. I sent you some.
I
Didn't
mean,
I, that showed.
rates are always bad, right? I
Rates
mean,
are well, no, I wouldn't say that. I
okay.
mean, like I said, we have our high season, and that's when you see the really good rates, and you see lots of good loads, and you're moving and
All right.
grooving.
What are those? What months are those?
Usually, we're starting right like now, and it
Oh,
lasts
okay.
until
So,
July,
all right.
August. But
Thank you. So, okay. So February to August is
yeah,
normally better rate season.
yes.
All right. Well, you know what we need to do.
Blow
Call
a
it
duck
here.
horn.
Come
What?
here. Come here. Good rates. That doesn't. Oh, that's not working.
No, that's not gonna work.
Oh. All right. Okay. So we got a rate problem. Rates haven't gotten good again yet. What? By the
No.
way, what do you do the other 6 months when rates suck?
You do the
You
best you can.
just lump it. Okay.
Yeah, I mean,
All right.
usually through August or September until now, this is our slow season. But like I said, usually, January 15th to the 1st of February is when things start coming out and getting better. And we're now almost at halfway mark of February and it's still not better. I keep telling everybody it's got to get better, but it's not gotten better. But like we were talking last week or a couple weeks ago, when you have the leaders of the load board listing cars for 23 cents a mile, which I believe I sent you one like that,
Yep.
that tends to bring the load rates down because it's called follow the leader, right? And for a company that says, I know we weren't supposed to be doing this, but for a company that says
It's too easy.
that they're the leader
Well,
and that they've got our transporters' best interests at heart, and then they don't, it's kind of hard to, you know.
well, here's what's funny. Yeah, you can borrow this whistle. It's a duck collar. It's on Amazon, $15. Everybody get one. This is the new way to get business in auto transport. It's
Oh,
you
that's
just
fun.
get your duck collar and the business comes. So well, these
Right.
industry leading brokers, we're gonna get into this.
Mhm.
Oh man, I'm gonna be in so much trouble at the end of this 90 minutes. I'm gonna have to you know,
What?
Flee to Mexico or something.
Oh, okay.
Okay, single units. That's what you also said. Meaning, it's hard to put a load together, right?
Right.
All
Right.
right. You also said they're double booking loads.
Mm-hmm.
All right. See, all of these things, well, single units is kind of actually, even at trade shows, everybody knows single unit moves are kind of a thing. But crappy rates for carriers and double booking loads, see, there's never been a place for this information to get out. That's what makes the reason scams work is because there's no, who at this point is responding to the email saying I got $3.5 million with my barrister in like Algeria. Nobody, because everybody knows that's fake. But when it comes to abusing carriers, how would anybody know that's really happening? And by the way, why would anybody care? Right? As long as they get, their free Amazon toothpaste overnight or whatever. But now that we're here talking about this, because Ty and I are learning some of the reasons why some of these things are probably happening. For example, let's do this. Let's do something fun. You want to watch a video? It's short. I'm gonna queue up. Ty recorded this video today.
Okay.
All right.
No cars.
Yeah, this is craziness. Okay.
This is the one. Yeah.
And cue the video. Anybody notice anything weird?
It's a live auction without cars.
Let's go ahead and watch that again. Okay. Now, clearly, business is being done. It's not that cars aren't being bought and sold.
Right.
But
real cars.
yeah, well, number one, I want to say for anybody that thinks that granddaddy and granddaddy's daddy and all that stuff, it's all out the window. There ain't no granddaddy's daddy that's ever seen an auction with no cars running through it. All right? It's time to get off Facebook and pretend you're the smartest super trucker in the group. You can still do it if you want, but I got an article that will shock you out of your pants. You're not going to believe what GM is doing. All right? So everything's changed, but even though cars are still being bought and sold, one of the problems is things like lease returns are way down. There's a lot less inventory being moved. In fact, a lot of the cars that are brought to the auction to be sold aren't being sold. So there's less inventory moving. Now, I know when you look at the load board, go ahead and share that again when you're ready because I want to look at it.
Okay.
Like Ty says, I ain't never seen anything like this in 22 years. By the way, ain't nobody going to talk about this during the duck hunt, okay? All right. So, you got, go back to the volume. That's what, 37,000
yeah,
full volume? All
yeah,
right.
it was 37 and change to 37,124 just in the matter of minutes we've done this.
Okay.
We lost 100.
So now, all right, so if auction volume is down, we really need to understand where is the rest of the volume coming from. Is it privately owned vehicles? Are these are these salvage vehicles? And nobody wants to ask these questions because, Jay, I just need a load board. And I want to argue about mobile apps and ramps, and whatever. But we need to understand what these cars are. Why are these cars moving? Who's posting them? And this gets into your 22 cents a mile industry-leading broker crap. What's the shipper paying? That's why I love this game. Ain't no way the shipper's paying 27 cents a mile, 27 cents per mile. Or maybe they are. So how is the standard in the brokering of when a broker speaks to a client, have they hit rock bottom too? Is the whole thing rock bottom just all the way down? Or are they making money hand over fist on some of these loads and just sticking it to the carrier because that's the way it's always been done with Granddaddy and his duck hunt. I don't know. We got to find out.
Well, I've got a couple dealers that I deal with, and I will
Okay.
tell you that my dealer that's over in the Richmond area is struggling just even. Oh, sorry, not Richmond, Christiansburg. Anyways,
Okay.
he's struggling just to find the cars to buy, and they're not making any money off of them.
Okay,
That's what he's
thank
saying.
you. And this is another problem. Vehicle values are dropping from the highs they were at.
Yes,
So when a dealer buys new inventory,
they're
he's
paying more.
yeah, well, they're finally paying less, but they have such high valued cars they're trying to sell for less. Everybody's starting to lose money. This is why I said it doesn't matter, Jay. It doesn't matter. Take it easy. But when I said, remember the companies talk about record profits?
Yeah, that's what they told you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Last
Dealers'
year,
record
right?
profits. Ain't no carrier making record profits
No.
2 years ago.
No.
Okay, and I said we need to be. If you're a carrier, you need to be making record profits too, because in a couple of years when this rubber band snaps back, that's where we're at.
Yeah.
Ain't nobody making record profits. Even on freight waves, they're talking about, truckers having okay, makes my head hurt.
So
Anybody
okay,
else head hurt? We're 20 minutes into the show. I got a migraine.
so you've heard freight is down too, then, right?
The whole dang thing is
Yeah. Okay.
But there has to be somebody that will pay to get their vehicle moved.
Right.
Who is it? I actually would love to know what vertical's paying the most right now to get their vehicles moved. And why is there's so much technology fighting for the competing for the business. There must be money in it. There must be money in transportation, but it ain't here.
No, it's not here right now.
It's not here.
No. We're having a heck of a time right now, for sure.
So, and you know what really bothers me? Bad rates I'm used to. Single
Right.
units, I already knew that.
Right.
It's the double booking of loads that makes me crazy.
Yes, double booking and transporters booking and I mean that's the two biggest ones on there. And you know what cracks me up is when the transporters list the cars, they're lowballing them too. So-
Exactly, which proves that nobody cares.
Right. But they're getting their broker fee back. I mean, it's always got a broker fee. You know what I mean? Which irritates the crap out of me because they get mad at brokers getting broker fees, but then they do the same thing.
And this is exactly why when brokers say dispatchers are illegal, carriers say dispatchers are illegal, it's all BS. That's BS. You are lying out of your...
Yeah.
You're lying. Stop it.
Yeah.
You're just playing the shell game like everybody else. I don't know. How is this ever going to stop? Is it ever going to stop?
It's always happened as far as
But car
mean-
dealers, I mean, you don't have the same shady 70s car dealers.
you
right?
still do, but you don't have not like across the board.
But
you do
auto
still have
transport's
some of
as shady as it's ever been. We're at 2023. It's shady as it's ever been. I think that's the title of this show.
Oh, funny.
All right. So here's what we got. This is kind of cool. We're gonna bring in Joe the broker.
Okay.
If Joe's ready, I'm gonna email Joe. Okay, there we go. All right, he's ready. I'm gonna email Joe. Joe the broker's gonna join us, and because we don't follow the rules here anyways. Although I tell you what, here's what I'm gonna do before Joe joins. I mean, nobody's having us search for loads what am I talking about? Oh, here, this is Doug's share. Thank you, Doug. Let's see. When people can work together, good things happen. We're fortunate to have people willing to stay up late, so Doug would be able to pick up these vans this past Friday. Their willingness to help make a big difference. Drivers work with extremely restricted hours, so even missing a window by 30 minutes can make or break. No one likes having to get to work late. We get it. That's why we're so thankful. It does. It's amazing. That's why it's impressive and amazing when you are super happy with your service provider, because it feels like just it's like a sliver of light in a jail cell at the bottom of a cave. Oh my God, I can get good service. It really does exist. I see the commercial now. This is a Super Bowl ad. Wide shot of the desert. And all these people in the desert. The wind is blowing and the sun is beating down. And somebody peeks up through their blanket and goes, oh my God. There's somebody out there that really cares. Okay. All right. Geez, Jay. Thermonuclear Thursdays is the name of the game. It's Thursday. That means it's time for Dispatching Live to kick into high gear. We're going to look at all kinds of stuff today. Pump it into the office. I know. Nobody wants to hear this stuff. Don't pump it in the office. They don't want to hear this stuff. We do have the Dispatching Live in full effect. Right. It makes no sense when you first tune in, and then you realize, oh my God, this is the absolute truth. It's a dumpster fire. We talk about it. Again, nobody... Jay, we really don't want to talk about this dumpster fire stuff. Don't do that to us. We're following the disconnect between sales and operations. Why? I ask myself that every day. It is what it is. Nobody cares. I'm not sure why. Let's just look at the truck. Just show me the truck. Yeah. What's your route scout? Why bother? This guy wanted me to ship his half-car TV stand. This is real?
Yes.
On a car hauler?
Yeah. Yeah, I told him, I said, I really, unless we send that enclosed, I would never send that on an open trailer, obviously.
What? Other than it looking like, okay, is that an actual half of a car?
That's what he's saying. It's the actual half of a Corvette with a TV in it, and he's like, and I'll lay the TV down in the back. And I'm like, okay, look.
Oh my God.
I said, it's not going to arrive there safely in an open. And I said, in enclosed, I'm going to probably have to charge you $1,000. I said, you need to call a freight company.
Yeah.
And do it that way.
How do you not? Why?
Well, here's the problem. This is what happened is I have a customer, I have a dealership up in St. Louis that I dispatch their vehicles. He gave this guy my name because he knows me, he trusts me, but he didn't, I don't know if he told the guy this is what it was. And that's how it ended up to me. And he sent me the picture and I'm like, oh no. I said, if we do it, we're doing it enclosed. It's down in Louisiana, wants to go to St. Louis. And I said, it's going to be probably $1,000, which to me is outrageous. I said, try a freight company. I'm fairly certain you'll get it cheaper than that. But I mean, if you really want it, you probably need to drive down there and go get it yourself. But,
well,
you know, it's kind of crazy.
Okay. Number one, it's not an actual car.
Yeah, no, it's not an actual car.
I know it looks like a car, kinda, and it has wheels.
Yeah.
But it's more like a sculpture or a fish tank than a car.
Well,
so,
I think it's for, what do you guys call it, the guy's room.
I would go nuts if I worked as, no broker would ever hire me. Because if I was the sales guy on the phone and I had to talk to the customer, like, and be serious, like, what makes you think this goes on a car hauler?
Yeah.
Seriously?
I just don't think he understood. Like I said, he was given it by a guy that sells
cars. It may as well be a couch or a refrigerator.
Well, true.
I mean,
I should have told him to go to U-Shift.
It's not a car.
That way.
Okay, hey, buddy. Okay, fine. The car hauler gets there. Are you going to drive it up on the... Who's going to drive it up on...
Oh, that's my favorite part.
I mean, what do you...
Well, it's on casters. It'll roll right up onto
the
the
casters?
It's only 500 pounds. Is what
my God. What is going on?
Yeah.
That is nuts.
Yep.
Okay. All right.
Could you imagine me listing that on Central?
How did you even get a home loan? I mean, what are we talking about? All right. Yeah. By the way, I think you need more propane tanks in the garage. Let's keep moving. Jesus.
You've got a lot. Yeah.
God. Did you get the memo? Right. Exactly. John Larrick is like. The car hauler's going to show up and be like, buddy, I'm leaving.
Yeah.
Please put the cigar down, right? Set down the flamethrower and the cigar. I'm out of here, man. Jeez.
If it fits, it ships, right,
Oh
Ants?
my
Yeah.
God. Speaking of scams, so
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
I've seen a lot of. I do. I get these notices that I've got a package and I need to click, but
Well,
everybody's getting these, right?
yeah, I got one for each of my drivers
Okay.
that signed up with Ready Auto, and we all know DHL has something to do with Ready Auto, right? But then they want you to pay for what? I don't know what it is. I don't even know if this is getting, they understand this is being sent out to all the drivers or not, but this I know is some kind of scam. Why
Well,
would you pay for anything?
It already. Why would you even want that thing? If
Yeah,
that
what
thing
is it?
was sitting anywhere near me, how would I be able to even watch TV? I'd be sitting
Oh,
there looking at the thing
You're
like,
talking about the TV stand?
yeah,
Oh,
like
okay. I thought we were talking about DHL.
I can't watch TV with this thing sitting here.
Well, I think it was for a man's cave, is what I would assume, but hey.
Listen, I'm a man and I like caves, but this is weird.
It's a little
What is that?
it's a little much, yes. And I'd really hate to know what he paid for that, okay?
Even Osama bin Laden would be like, this is much. Too much. We need to get this out of here.
Yeah.
Okay. Osama. Okay, speaking of, all right, so I brought this up on carrier compliance yesterday. Have you seen this? Did you send me
Yeah,
this?
I sent this to you, yeah.
All right. Tell me, what are we looking at? What are you reading? I mean this seriously. Let's just back up a second.
Well, they're saying like they can boost your scores and compliance.
Okay,
so-
yeah. Okay, and I want everyone in the live chat, tell us what you're seeing. And I mean this. Okay, so Sue, say it again. What are they
So
saying?
they're saying they can boost your CSA scores and improve compliance with better fleet inspections. I'm assuming the way I'm getting this is they're trying to shoot you to use Velocity, but that's just my personal opinion.
Does it say Velocity?
No, it doesn't. But
Okay.
it's how
Alright,
else are you
cool.
supposed to improve better fleet inspections, right?
That's okay. This is
That's
my
why I took
point.
it.
Okay, so how do you act upon this? What are you supposed to do?
Well, it says read more, learn more. I never pushed the buttons, to be honest with you.
Okay, let's
I
assume.
just sent it and moved on.
All right, so read more or learn more. So
Right.
okay, why are they offering to help boost your CSA scores?
Let's see, your outsourced resource for
Do
regulatory.
you have to pay for this?
I would assume so.
All right,
Says
let
our
me see if I
compliance
can.
by their deep industry.
Let me try to locate this email.
Yeah, click on that and see what it takes you to next.
Okay.
I mean, are they acting like they're almost like a OOIDA kind of thing?
Well,
Or-
yeah, right. Okay, that's good.
Sounds
That's
like-
actually something. Here we go. So I clicked it. Okay. Boost CSA scores. All right. And I think this is healthy, right? Again,
Yeah.
there's nowhere in the industry can you ask this question, right?
Well, yeah, because everybody got these, and if you haul for
Exactly.
ACERTUS, you would have
And
got.
that's why we're talking about it. They send it out. All right, so you go here, and it's kind of blog posty, and which is fine.
Drivers,
ACERTUS
business
is a
control
compliance partner.
substances. Yeah.
So are they
okay.
working with fleets, serving
That's
as a
what they're
fleet?
saying is fleet.
Okay, but
safety
didn't it
management.
go out to owner operators?
Yeah,
So how's an owner operator act on this offer?
they're not going to. And
So why
usually
send
a
it?
fleet company is going to have their own safety and.
That's what I'm saying. I'm still trying to figure out what this is. Is it
Well-
just advertising?
I don't know. I mean,
don't know either.
It's not something any of my guys would use, and
And listen, I'm asking. Okay, I'm doing a couple things. Number one, I'm asking live because it makes for interesting content, and everybody got this. Number two, I don't feel like I don't really want to try to go through corporate channels and hey, can I get an interview about your flyer? I really don't want to do that. I just So all right, I've asked the question. Let's keep moving, but I don't understand what this is. Other than maybe an advertisement for I don't know. Let's keep going. Speaking of advertisement, I still see advertisements for home delivery. Dude, right now, they'll take any delivery. They'll take any delivery so bad, they're double booking it.
yeah,
Stop with the home. But I know why. Here's why you advertise home delivery. It's just like VIP, because we're going to milk you, and then we're going to post it for half that on the load board. Okay. Oh, shoot. Is this 3 shows in a row? Dang it.
It is.
Wow. So what is this? What are we looking at, Sue?
Okay, so it's a big broker. Big broker.
Oh, okay.
And yeah,
big,
22
big.
cents a mile. Really?
Okay. Big broker. All right.
One of the leaders in the industry. Does that help you?
Oh, okay. Leader in the industry. Leader. Great.
Yeah.
All right.
That's not a leader.
Oh, wow. 22 cents a mile. What is this? Florida to Texas. Oh, well, there you go. Florida to Texas. Yeah.
And that was
Screw them if you got them.
4 vehicles, right?
Oh, and it's 4, what is it? It's 4 vehicles? 4
Yep.
vehicles,
Miami
paying a total of
Dallas.
1,100, going 1,300 miles. What's it cost to drive? By the way, 4 vehicles. Let's say you got a 4-car hauler and you can get this. And it's not 4, U-body cranes.
Yeah.
But let's assume it's 4 smart cars, all right? And you're a 4-car hauler. What's it cost for you to do this trip? Are
Yeah.
you breaking even?
And knowing this broker, it's probably not all one pick either, just so you know.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I forgot about the mix wherever.
Yeah.
All right. So
And they're
you pick-
heavy because they max weight is 4477, so they're not any smart cars.
Oh, they're not smart
And look,
cars.
There's a
All right.
Dimension 192.
Oh God. Oh, this
So
just
I
gets
think
better.
I think they were 4 SUVs and they weren't small.
All right, let's say it's 4 SUVs with solo flexes in each side of one of them. Each one filled with. Okay, so how we doing? Can we even break even on this?
I don't think so. Not at 22 cents.
Right, because you got the cost. You got your truck payment, your trailer payment, your insurance. You actually have to make money because this is a business. Fuel, food, licensing fees. You're probably going to get shaken down on a level 1 on your way. What's the point? What is the freaking point?
Unless you just really need to go to Dallas, I don't see the point.
Which is funny. This there's a phone. Somebody's on a phone right now. Yeah, but don't you need to go that way? Or what?
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
Don't you live there or
What's
something?
the
Yeah.
Why show up to work if you're going to come home in debt?
Right.
What's the freaking point?
And then you got to get out of Dallas next, which also sucks. So there you have it.
Oh yeah, this is great. Hey,
Yeah.
by the way, we've got crap coming out of Dallas too. You want to go back to Florida?
It's probably 19 cents a mile.
Oh my God! And this is an industry leader. Wow.
Yeah. Yep.
I'd say you might want to reply to that email with that barrister in Algeria. Okay. It's auto transport. That's why we show it. You won't see it anywhere else. No one's going to talk about it. What's the point? Nobody cares. Jay, oh my God. Wait, you guys going public with this crap? That's right. You can go to Vehicle Remarketing Magazine, vehicleremarket.com. We're actually going to be in Caesar's Palace at the end of March talking about this crap in front of people. Ty has a workshop on Wednesday afternoon called Transportation Dumpster Fire. And then on Thursday, I'm hosting a panel. Actually, John Larrick, he's going to be on my panel. We're going to have people in the audience. Ty's going to be walking around with a microphone. We're literally, for the first time ever, going to have an actual conversation at a trade show about the reality of auto transport. Wow. We're really doing this. And you know what's crazy? People are on fire for this. I shared it on social media. Oh, crap. You can barely see it. This thing's got almost 2,000 views, over 35 likes. Holy crap, we're not alone. Or people are just putting us on. I don't know which one it is. But this is neat. We had a show Tuesday night. We were talking about dealers, consigners, auctions. I know, it wasn't load boards. It wasn't Facebook. But we got this feedback. Incredible show Tuesday night. Let Jay know the platform you and he developed, in my opinion, has started to help people understand what the meaning of being a true owner of a car hauling business rather than just guy that hauls cars. If you change a person's mindset, you change the way they conduct themselves, you change their life forever. Your platform has done this. You guys should be proud of what you have achieved. Man, thank you so much. My gosh. because half the time I'm sitting around wondering, I just get, you know what? Let me just get a duck collar and show up somewhere, and then because nobody cares. None of this matters.
I just sent you an email too.
Oh, cool. Tuesday. That's good timing because man,
It's for the new
chill
rating
out.
system. They just sent it over to me. It's
what
a
is
video.
it? Wait, what?
For the new rating system for Central Dispatch. They're calling it the sneak peek.
They just sent it to you just now?
Yeah, well, for every driver. Yeah, I just sent you one of them just now.
What?
Yeah, it's
wow.
a video.
Should we watch it?
Sure. I think that's why they sent it. If you really want to know the truth.
Yeah, right.
It's convenient. It comes in while we're on the show, isn't it?
That is pretty interesting. All right. I'm sharing sound. Hang on, Joe. Hang on. Okay, Joe the broker. Hang on, Joe. Stick around. Hang on 1 second. We got to watch this.
The transactional rating system from Central Dispatch lets you leave in-depth reviews about what it was like to work with a certain shipper or carrier on our platform. You can rate a business overall and in 3 distinct categories for each job they perform. You can write reviews describing your experience in more detail and even reply to comments written about your business. Today, we'll show you how you can use this new rating system to give helpful, honest feedback so that you and others can make better partnering decisions and grow your business. The overview page gives you a general idea of how you're being rated on Central Dispatch. You'll see your company information, your current overall rating, calculated by average, your legacy score under the prior rating system, and reviews of your business that have been marked as most helpful by other users. Under Experience Details, you'll see your current rating for each distinct transactional ratings category: timeliness, communication, and documentation. Like your overall rating, these are calculated by average. Hover over the I for more information on how we define each category. Scroll through the most helpful reviews to find out which reviews of your business are getting the most hits and exactly what your partners are saying about you. View how they've rated you in each category, their written review, how many total reviews they have left on the site, and how many other users have marked their review as helpful. The overview page also gives you a quick link to rate your recent transactions under My Activity, as well as a link to view all of your business's reviews in more detail here near the Helpful Reviews. You can also get there by simply clicking the All Ratings tab near the top of the dashboard. On the All Ratings page, you'll first see a visual breakdown of your current overall rating and a complete list of every review of your business. You can sort this by the number of stars attached to each review to quickly get a clear idea of what people liked about working with you and what problems may have come up during a job. You also have the option to reply to any review of your business. Please remember to be fair and courteous when replying to a review. Every reply goes through a 72-hour review period to make sure our content policy is being followed. The Pending page is where you'll rate and review the businesses you've worked with in the past 60 days. After 60 days, any pending transaction ratings you have will disappear. Only transactions that are made through Central Dispatch and marked as completed are eligible to rate. This ensures every review is tied to a verified transaction. On the page, you'll see the company's name, order ID, and some more specific information about each job. To begin rating a transaction, simply give it an overall rating of 1 to 5 stars. This will bring up an expanded menu where you can rate a shipper or carrier on their timeliness, communication, and documentation. Note that your ratings for each category do not impact the overall rating. Also note that reviews cannot be edited after they're submitted, and star ratings go live on the website the moment you leave them. So it's very important to understand what to be thinking about for each category before you rate. Let's go over those in more detail. For overall rating, you should think about the general experience working with this person, not just the outcome of the job. Would you feel comfortable doing business with them again? Would you recommend them to others? Timeliness refers to how closely they met timing expectations outlined in your contract for pickup, delivery, and any other checkpoints. Did they complete delivery or pickup within 72 hours of the estimated time? Were they late? If so, how late? Your communication rating should consider how professional and responsive a partner was during a job. Did they promptly communicate information like updates, changes, and delays? Did you ever have trouble getting in touch with them? Documentation includes the completion and accuracy of all job documents, such as EBOL, insurance information.
All right. I'm stopping it. Is it just me? I think I got a lot
You
in
got
one
the whole
swipe
thing,
there.
yeah.
Yeah, okay. Hey, Joe, can you hear us?
Yeah, hey, how's it going?
Hey,
Hey,
Joe.
thanks for joining the show, Joe. Sue, do me a favor. Sue, if you'll share the screen again, and Joe, if you'll introduce yourself, tell us more about not too much. I mean, you don't have to because we're gonna get into I don't know what we're gonna do.
Sure, not a problem. First, I'm very pleased and I'm very thankful you guys had me. I've known Ty for a very long time. God bless his soul. Whenever I've had a question about the industry or anything that I did not know about the industry, I always went to him and he was always able to help me out. So I appreciate you guys a lot for doing that. So basically, my name is Joe Sampson. I've been in the industry for around 5, 6 years, give or take. I've seen it up and down, fluctuate, and everything. And to be honest, it's really embarrassing. This industry is like, I don't know where it's going to go, but I can tell you right now that it's very embarrassing what's happening right now.
All right, yeah, okay. So let's do top reasons this industry is embarrassing.
I mean, like, it's a car shipping industry, and it's embarrassing that there's this many scams in it. I would say 90% of the auto transport companies out there are lowballing the customers, and it's ruining everything for everyone else. I've spoken, I've been trying to fix this problem. Spoke to Ty, I spoke to many lead providers, and the funny thing is, my lead providers, right? They used to own auto transport brokerages. I'm like, what happened and all that? They tell me they're like, it just wasn't working out for me, and I didn't want to lose everything in the business, so I just switched a lead provider. I spoke to the owner of a couple of my CRMs as well. They told me the same exact thing. They used to own an auto transport brokerage. It went to trash, and then they want to take another objective in the industry because again, they did not want to lose anything.
Wow. All right,
Yeah.
that's pretty intense. I mean, and I got to tell you, what you're saying is pretty interesting because what I didn't know, it sounds like you're in touch with, you've been around longer than I expected, and you're in touch with more people than I expected. So I mean, it's
Thank
not
you.
like you're not just guessing. I mean,
Oh no, these are numbers.
Yeah.
These are numbers that I'm looking
Yeah.
at. This is like facts I'm speaking to.
And that matches what I mean. I know this true is that if you're a lead provider and you're successful, yeah, you're going to dump all other parts of the business because
Why not?
why ruin
Less,
the ATM?
yeah, less overhead. Yeah,
Yeah.
I get it.
Shoot, man.
Exactly. And
So, are all of your loads, Joe, just from lead providers, or do you have your own?
I have a couple in-house leads coming in. We did start like the SEO marketing and research and all that, but it's very few right now. Again, if you want to become the lead provider for yourself and only be a lead provider for yourself, it's very costly. It's very, very expensive.
Gotcha.
On top of all the other like billion and one costs you have running an auto transport, that's very costly as well.
Right. So what would you say? Let's do this. What is the overhead like to be a lead generator, and where does that money go?
You're saying like how much would a lead provider what's their expenses?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
50K?
again, listen, it all depends on how many leads they're producing a day. I've seen some lead providers with like the most garbage websites like I've ever seen, like such garbage websites, and they're getting like over like 100 leads a day in, like around 100 to 200 leads a day in, and I would say like give or take cost per click to get a conversion rate is anywhere from $16 to $30 per form. So, I mean, like you guys do the math. Lead
Yeah.
providers, I would say, an average are spending $20,000 to $30,000 a month. That's like your average lead provider. Some are spending more, some are spending less, just to make ends meet. Especially right now, since it's the downtime in the business.
Wow.
Right. Okay. And what types of leads are those? Is that mostly personally owned vehicles?
Yeah, they're mostly
Yeah.
all POVs.
Exactly. Because a dealer's not going to go to Google.
Right.
Yeah.
Do that.
Okay.
Exactly.
So, and if your overhead, let's say you're an average lead generator, you're spending 20 to 30K a month. What do you think your revenue's at
Mm,
by selling those leads? Right.
right. I would say that if if your expenses are around like 20, I mean, like I'm not a lead provider myself, so I can't
Yeah.
give you the exact
I
numbers. I'm just
know.
giving you an estimate.
Yeah.
So I would say that again, if you played smart, a lot of there's also
I
lead
mean,
provider
double.
brokers.
You think that?
No,
No,
No way.
not double. Oh, okay.
Not double. No,
So
no way. I would say like if they're
10%
spending,
margin?
Wow.
I would say if they're putting 20 grand into ads, they're probably taking maybe 8 to 10 grand home a month. Depends, give or
Yeah.
take, if they play their cards right.
Yeah.
And that's not the
Um,
rest of their expenses either.
I mean, they don't have that many expenses other than the SEOs because everything is just
Well,
automated in that
but they'd
business.
still have employees, they'd still have payroll taxes, they'd still have a place that they're renting, I would assume, utilities, that kind of thing, though.
I mean, no, not really. I mean, like most people are working from their houses. Everything is
Oh.
automated. They just
So you're
need
talking
to.
like
They
a
just
one-person show kind of thing that's doing
maybe
this.
two to
Okay.
5 person show, give or
Okay.
take. You know, one is running the ads, one is being the customer service, bringing on more
Gotcha.
companies with them.
Okay.
It really doesn't take that much. I mean, the biggest expense they have is just running the ads. It's just paying Google more and more and more for the Google
Yeah.
campaigns and just running the ads.
All right, so I want to shift here. So we talked about lead generators. That is fascinating. But let's shift over to shady, scammy brokers. Are we talking
Right.
like your owner operator broker that took a get rich quick class? How did they get into this, and what are they doing that's so scammy?
I mean, like, I don't know where they started. I don't know where they came from. They probably, they want to make a quick buck, and they're also lazy people. And I'll explain to you right now how they're scamming. They are destroying the market. They are calling the clients, right? My guys are good. I train them well. I train them very well, and every day we have training courses. I explain to them this, I explain to them that, and at the end of the day, we speak to the customers with respect. And at the end, they don't care. They don't care. The amount of lip they give us is phenomenal. It's absurd. So what a bunch of these people are going to do, like the competition, the lowballing competition, is that they're going to quote, let's just say, the carrier price to get this car out is 1,200. We quote them at 1,300. Right, that's $100 broker fee, not a big deal. These guys are telling him that it's going to be $600 to load your car.
Yep.
All they're hearing is that, I have to pay $700 cheaper. They don't care. They might like our company better. They say thank you for the knowledge you've given me in this company. But they don't care. They don't care. Oh, I'm saving $700. They've never worked with this company before. They never worked with any of the companies before. This is their first time shipping the car, and this will probably be the last time they're shipping the car. But they don't understand. We tell them that they're lying to you. You're not going to end up paying this price. You're going to end up paying more. And you know what happens? They end up paying more. And if that doesn't happen, we call them. I stay in touch with them. I'm like, oh, what happened? They're like, oh, you know what, Joe? We should have stuck with you. You were right. You know what? Next time. Unfortunately, there is not a next time with these POV customers, because these 90% of the customers that we're dealing with on a day-to-day basis, these people ship a car maybe once or twice in their lifetime, and that's it.
Yep.
And it's like, if we get them the first time like that, like, it's great. After that, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if we were right or not, because we lost the client, we lost the business. Oh, I should have came to you next time. That's not going to happen. They'll never. And another thing is, they'll tell me, I'm like, oh, what happened? They're like, I got fed up with all you guys, because how lead providers are. They ship off their leads to like 10 different companies at once. I got fed up with all you guys. You guys bombarded my phones. I blocked all you guys. All you guys are considered spam to me, and I drove it up myself. Or they say, oh, I didn't end up buying the car. Thank you so much for ruining this experience for me.
Yeah.
So what's in it for the broker that lies to the customer about the $700? Where did they benefit? What did they right? What did
so
they
on
do?
that day, right, when the shady company calls the customer and tells them that this load's going for 700, this guy is hearing that this guy's the only one in this industry that's giving me this price, and that's almost 50% in the rest. Right. So they get contracts signed that day, and they get probably $200 to $300 deposit charged that day as well. That day, even it could be months away, 2 days away, the shady company will give them a lie. Will say, tell them a lie. Hey, listen, these trucks are the spots in the trucks are getting filled up. We need to take a deposit and sign contracts. They tell the customer. Some companies don't even bother to call the customer. They don't even call them once at all. That's it. They just got the deposit. Whatever happens, happens. If they call them, they don't answer them. They send them a text. They'd be like, hey, how can I help you? They are too scared to hop on the phone with these customers that they're scamming. And then you might ask them, why would the customer ever end up going with them now? The thing is, unfortunately, most of the customers are not that knowledgeable, and we call them idiotic in a way. And they're scared. They think that they signed a contract, and when they sign a contract, they think that, I'm going to get sued, that if I don't go with them and all that. Mm-hmm. and they think that they can't call their credit card company to dispute this charge to consider fraud. So what they'll do is they'll end up the shady company will tell them, oh yeah, I found a driver for you. If they do for the real price,
Hmm.
they'll tell them that yeah, I found it for the real price, the ones that my company was quoting them at, and this guy will end up paying more.
Hmm.
And if this guy doesn't agree to it, most of these companies don't even care. They'll send the carrier. They'll just send the carrier right away. The carrier will pick up the car, right? And you know how these carriers are. They will not unload the car until they get until they get paid on what they agreed on.
Yep.
So they're looking at the customer and they're saying, I'm not unloading this until you give me what I agreed on. So the customer is forced to give the carrier an extra $600 to $800 that day.
Yep. I have a
And this
pretty
is
good
destroying
idea
the
who you're
industry.
talking about too.
I mean, like, it's a bunch of companies. I would say 90% of the industry, 90% of the 80 to 90% of the industry is doing this.
Yeah. I mean, I deal with it too because they'll call me, I'll give them a quote, like you said, the right quote. They'll say they got a quote for half that or even 200 or 300 underneath that. And I try to tell them the exact same thing. Sometimes they still have me do it. And then sometimes they go to that person, and you're right. I'll get the call later on, said it cost them more than what I had even told them. And I know one major broker that does it on a regular. And so does
And
Joe.
and it's disgusting, and like, you know,
Yeah.
it's destroying everyone. It's
Yeah.
literally destroying everyone because giving a bad name to the car industry. You know, it's not that big of an industry, like the revenue wise as a whole, like
Yeah.
enough as it is right now. And these people, like, so many people, like, despise the car transportation industry now. Just your regular Joe schmoes are
People
just like,
do actually
They do.
hate the auto transport industry. Yeah,
Well, and the other problem is they'll
they
get
do.
online and they'll put in their quote request, right? And then they'll get calls from like 6, 7, 10 different brokers, like back to back too. And then when they actually give the load to the broker that we're supposed to pick it up from, we'll call them to verify, and they're like, "No, you're not with so and so. We won't let you pick up the car because we brokered it through X company instead of this other company." And then we have to go through that whole thing too. And sometimes we get the car, sometimes we don't, because the customer is so confused as to who the hell they actually signed up with, and they have no clue.
You
right.
know, what I was going to say is, what's really fascinating is then if you try to talk about this,
Hmm.
there are verticals in our own vertical sub verticals that will say, well, that's your problem. We don't do POV.
Ah,
That actually,
What do
I
you
mean,
mean?
that's a thing. Like, well, that's what you get for working with
so,
residents.
yeah,
That's why we only
What,
haul for OEMs.
wait, Jay, what do you mean by that? There's some auto transport companies that don't deal with POV customers.
That's correct. So you've got in auto transport, there are businesses that say, okay, you know, we our clients, we work with auctions, or our clients, we work with dealers,
right.
or our clients, we focus on. I don't know if you hear a lot of people say we focus on repos and salvage, but there must be. Like RCG does a lot of repo and salvage. Okay,
Yeah.
and there are some brokers that focus on working with POV, privately owned vehicle resident customers, right?
Hmm. Yep.
Right.
So if you present this problem, this scammy, awful auto transport virus to a company that works only with OEMs, they're going to say, yeah, well, you get what you get.
Right, but here's the thing: how do they make ends meet just by dealing with auctions and dealerships?
Well, so it's funny you should ask. Auctions and dealerships is actually, for my money, better business because that's repeat business. You're dealing, it's more B2B, right? You hear B2B versus B2C, business to business versus business to consumer. When you make that privately owned vehicle sale, how often is a customer shipping a vehicle with your company after all that time and energy? What,
Once
twice
in
a
a
year?
lifetime.
Right, there you go.
Yeah.
If you work with a dealership, how often is one dealership probably working with you to ship vehicles?
Once a month, at least.
All right, at least. Exactly.
Right.
Now,
Mhm.
auctions, it's gone down a little, but with all the new technology platforms, and again, I don't even know, as I say these things, and I see that, that it's I got off course because I looked at the views, which is always depresses the hell out of me. But I just need to get my duck collar back. The point is that what we're laying down here is an analysis of the industry, and no shipper's watching this. Even though, my God, if a shipper could know some of this crap before they went to book a car, it could change their lives.
They're too lazy to. That's important. They don't care to.
We're not spending 20 grand a month on Google. That's a problem. But and the thing is too, I think the thing is about the POV, the reason the scam works so well is you got them in that moment where they're already overwhelmed. They're trying to pack up the house, right? They've got flights and aunts, and maybe there was a death in the family, or they're changing jobs, whatever they're doing. You got them by the nuts, right? They'll do whatever you say. It's kind of like Escape Room, the movie. They will just follow, please get me out of this car. Or they're selling a car, or whatever it is. So, thank you, John. So, do me a favor, John. If we're actually doing good here, because I said this to somebody recently, are we not doing a good job? Because it seems like 2 years into doing this every week, I can't believe more folks in this industry don't know about what we're doing here, what we're talking about, and somebody goes, God, that's a good idea.
Jay, I have a question for you there.
Yeah.
I have, within the span of, let's just say, a year and a half, me and my guys have, I want to say, called almost every single new car dealership, used car dealership within across the United States. I would say most of them say I already have central dispatch. I want to say like 80% of that bulk says I don't need you. I already have central dispatch. The other ones say that we transport cars locally. I already have a guy to do it. I don't need you guys. I've tried and I've barked up that tree. But Jay also said Ty also said something else to me. He's like, you got to go in person. You got to shake the owner's hands and all that. That's what makes the difference. That's what makes the deal. And I totally agree with him.
Well, I like what we're talking about, because now we're talking about business development, and that's what we talk about on Fridays on Cars on the Move. And I also say openly, none of this is easy. My God, which is why if anybody who watches a get-rich-quick video and falls for that crap, oh my God, why would you take, like, golden business advice from somebody standing on the side of the road walking a dog or something? That is freaking stupid. Yeah. Stop doing that.
Yeah.
You're just as bad as the customer that thinks they're going to get it moved for half the price. What are you thinking? I mean, My God. Okay. Having said that, he's right. And I think part of the formula here is, and I mean, man, Joe, I would think that you now know how to present yourself. You've got a brand, and, you understand aspects of the industry. My recommendation is start going to trade shows. What we're seeing is, like, we're going to a trade show at the end of March, and there's an exhibitor that is actually a broker, and we've never heard of them before. So I asked Ty, how did this broker, who I've never heard of before, and I know there's a lot of brokers, it doesn't matter that I don't know them, but where did they get the information to show up at a trade show with an exhibit booth? How did they figure that out? More people need to figure this out. Because until more people figure this out, you know who's at the trade show dropping trays of biscuits and all this stuff? Those industry thought leaders that are posting crap for 22 cents a mile. That's who's doing it. And I know, because I've eaten their biscuits. Okay? So if you want to develop business, you need to, you do. You need to go to places in person, and that... There'll be some failures there, but I think you'll learn some techniques. I actually walked into a dealership. Ty said, do it. You try it. I walked into a dealership, and I started talking about dispatching, and it was weird. But I actually had an interesting conversation and learned a few things. I saw the inventory manager sitting at his desk with several screens. He's looking at ACV. He's looking at Central Dispatch. He was looking at something else. And seeing that was an eye-opener. Like, wow. And it gives you the opportunity, okay, so you have this here. But what are your problems? Because what we know for a fact is you have problems. When a dealer says, I got Central Dispatch, cool. So what are your problems? If he says, life is peachy, no problems, fine. If you're going to lie to me, I guess I'm just going to leave. Because you're lying. There's no way life is peachy. It's impossible. This is auto transport. I mean, we got this. You know, this is auto transport. Life is not peachy. Okay, so we got to find out what each other's problems are. And that, again, is what these industry thought leaders are doing. They're sending in lines of executives. It looks like a football field. They got linemen executives. What's your problem? What do you need? What do you want for dinner? And they are finding out how to say the words that get them to sign on the dotted line. That's how. Now, I don't know how an owner-operator does this. And my God, if I just got out of some, airport hotel seminar of how I'm going to get rich and ride the escalator to money, brokering loads and buying leads, my God, help me. I don't know where I got this idea or what I was thinking. Luckily for you, Joe, you're a lot further along than that. But you know what I mean? And that's another thing. As we're speaking right now, somebody else just believed from some dumb video that they're going to get rich being a broker, buying leads. It just happened.
That may have worked. That may have worked in the past, Jay, but unfortunately, does not work anymore. Buying leads and getting on Central Dispatch, and even that, even maybe if that did work, that worked in a very slightly manner, you could say. And they probably closed down shop afterwards because they couldn't do it.
Well, it's funny, but nobody cares, and nobody knows about the turnover. Here's one. This dealer actually posted this. I've grown so tired of dealing with transporters. Anyone recommend any brokers? Need brokers who work nationwide.
Does he not realize he's still going to work with transporters?
That's the...
I mean, right?
Jay,
back two people now.
Right, Jay. Going back to the shady companies in the industry, right?
Yeah.
I want to touch more bases with you on that. So we discussed the problem. Is there anything else you would like to know about the problem before? Because I want to speak to you about a solution.
Great. Do it. Yeah, please. Oh, God,
All
we're
right.
dying for a solution. Thank you, Joe.
Give it to us.
I've had a couple, I've spoken to a lot of people in this industry, like a lot of people who've been in the industry for 20 plus years. I spoke to a couple lead providers, a couple owners of CRM, different auto transport brokers who I trust as well. And, a couple of them, first one was, we create, Jay, have you heard of Discord?
Yeah, actually, I have heard of Discord. Tell people what Discord is.
Right, so Discord is like just basically like you call it maybe like a different type of WhatsApp, but it's like an anonymous WhatsApp. Like you can make a username and there's like you make your own channels in there and then you can send out a link and everyone could join. The thing is with that, a lot of everyone in this industry likes to keep the secrets within house. So, a lot of people told me that's not going to work out. So what we want to do is to continue to like make one group chat, right? Carriers, brokers, all sorts, dispatchers, lead providers, all in one group chat. And what they're going to do is, when a company's being shady, we post it there. But unfortunately, I do not believe that's going to work, because a person might have a problem with one company and that might lead to something else, when that company was being authentic and all that.
It'll be a bash fest and you won't be able to tell anything from it. I'll tell you what, it's funny you say Discord because I've actually been thinking about Discord for a while. But we're so Stone Age. Who in the heck is going to, in any meaningful way... And I'll say this is why I'm actually interested in the Central Dispatch ratings update, because it'll tell us if Discord is even a possibility. We're going to learn something from this new CD ratings experiment. I don't know what it is. Yeah.
Jay, to be honest with you, I don't think those the new Central Dispatch is going to do anything. And this was the second thing I was going to get to with you. So I don't think the Discord thing is going to work because most of the industry don't even know what Discord is.
Exactly.
Exactly. Right.
Exactly.
So there was another person I spoke to, and he said around 10 to 12 years ago, Central Dispatch had it in a way that if you wanted to post a load on the load board, you need to send a contract with that as well.
Really?
And
I've never heard of that.
yeah,
And I've
this
been
was a
doing this for
long time
20
ago.
years.
This was a long time ago. I spoke to someone in the industry who's like honestly helped me out a lot.
Huh.
And this is what he told me. Like I didn't see it for myself. He said this is what they used to do. And what happened was, and he knew the owner of Central Dispatch. They used to go to dinner together. They were good. They were great friends. But unfortunately, Central Dispatch got bought up by Cox Automotive. Cox
Huh.
Automotive does not care.
No.
Again, they just care about the money. And Central Dispatch, unfortunately, very unfortunate, owns the auto transport industry. They do. They control the auto transport industry. And I believe they're the only ones that can actually help this issue, but they don't care. The only way that they were willing to kick off someone off Central Dispatch is if their credit card gets stopped charging. Then they're
Yep.
off. If it's
Yep.
anything else, they don't care.
Yep.
They need to set something up in a way where they have 3 strikes, or they do something, or they should make it illegal for them to post a low ball number, and they destroy the load board as well. On top of destroying the load board, they destroy they destroy us. They destroy the honest, truthful companies. They destroy the customers. They have problems with the carriers now. They're getting sued right and left because and then the carriers don't want to unload the vehicles off the truck anymore because they're not getting paid on what they agreed on. So these people are destroying this industry, and it's embarrassing because it's a vehicle shipping industry, and it should not be this cutthroat. I understand the diamond industry. I understand the watch industry. I even understand the cars industry. But a vehicle shipping industry to be this cutthroat, where we come to in life.
Well,
That is what boggles my mind.
Well, how does it? It's interesting you mentioned like the diamond industry and stuff, because that is actually where we're so far in the bachelorette truck stop that we literally need to look at other industries and say, like when you go, I was in the diamond district in a big city, and I thought I would feel more like, I don't know, like I was being scammed, or I couldn't figure out, am I being scammed? Is this a good deal? Like, that's where we're at with auto transport. You literally don't know where you stand. What is happening?
I mean, like, listen, again, yeah, the thing is, those things, one of my great buddies, he's in the money loaning industry, and he tells me, mothers are backdooring their sons are backdooring their fathers, and that's totally understandable, because that whole entire industry started from the mafia business. I can understand why that's so cutthroat. But for this industry to be so cutthroat, that is still what boggles my mind, and it's embarrassing, and we need to fix it. It's giving a bad name to everyone. No, there's so many people out there who have dealt with the car industry one time in their life, and they hate it, and they will never transport a car in their again in their life. They have scars from it. They fear it. They fear something from it as well. That they don't want to get anything near it. That they don't want to deal with another auto transport industry again. It's like PTSD in a way, and it's embarrassing, and we need to fix it. And I don't know exactly how to fix it. Central Dispatch could fix it, but again, they're not about to do that because again, that means less money in their pockets. All they're hearing, if we go to them and tell them that we have solutions in place to fix it, oh, this is going to be kicking off a lot of people. That means we're going to be charging a lot of less cards, which equals a lot of less money in our pockets. No, thank you.
So here's what I want to do. All right, Joe, I really appreciate your input today, and I like the way you think. I share your sentiment. I don't know what we do, but the fact that we're even, it's like the I don't know if it's the 7 stages of grief or rehab or what this is, but we're in the first phase, awareness. That there's a problem, and we're actually, we're live and we're talking about it, and this will be available on demand. And I don't know, I don't know if I really believe in movements. I don't participate in marches because I think it's a lot of people outside and, nobody cares, right?
Right.
So I don't know what we do, what can be done. I have no idea. But I do know this is that every time that I say you're not going to get rich by watching a guy walking his dog on the side of the highway, I'm finally saying it out loud. because forever nobody was saying how stupid those videos were. Those videos are so dumb. And as they get further in the rearview mirror, they look even dumber. And there's another guy. Now, there's always a new guy. Or gal, but it's usually a guy. There's another guy that's resurfaced, and he's in freight trucking, and he's saying now is the time, and believe in yourself, and all this crap. Dude, my God. This is not about life coaching. It's a freaking business. So, I think what we need to do is keep talking about the numbers and the reality. Like what you just said about contracts. Now, that's interesting. If you if a POV customer knew that they weren't locked into a contract and they were probably being scammed, man, that's a good show content idea. I'd like to see a guy standing on the side of a highway walking his dog talking about that topic. I mean, we're not going to because it's not going to go viral. But what did John say? Is the transporter that are doing it to you to good? Well, that's we're eating each other alive. Bad carriers are eating good carriers alive. Bad brokers are eating good brokers alive. Yeah, that is happening. It's amazing
Also,
how bad it is. It's our transportation dumpster fire is the perfect title. Perfect.
right.
Joe.
Jay, there's also lead provider brokers. I'm not sure if you heard of them, but I'll explain to you what they are. What they do is they go to a lead provider. They're very tech savvy. These people are very tech savvy. They know how to set everything up. It's not that difficult to set everything up. What they'll do is they'll go to a lead provider who sells POV leads to a bunch of auto transport brokerages. This person will go and be like, "Yeah, I'm an auto transport broker. I need 1,000 leads a week." This guy, let's just say he's buying a lead for $1.25. He's going to advertise that now he is an auto transport lead provider as well, and he's going to start providing the leads at $1.50. So he's making 25 cents off each lead. So there's a couple of lead providers that do that as well. Just wanted to bring that to your attention.
Right. Oh, I got you. That makes sense. Well, it's like, so somebody's at the source, and then they sell part of the source to somebody else who says they're the source. And now you got all these people walking around saying they're the source, but it really was only one guy.
Right. And that guy...
And everybody's taking a cut. And that's before it even gets to the broker.
Exactly. Jay, but here's another thing, right? Let's just say this guy's in a group of 9, right? So the person who's lying to everyone saying that he's the lead provider, he's buying a lead from a lead provider who's already selling it to 9 other companies as well. And then this guy is going to sell to 6 more companies as well.
Right. Well, this is why. And I don't know if they tell you this in day one of get rich quick brokering. Does anybody ever say this to the get rich quick broker crowd?
I don't know. I've never watched the YouTube video.
Well, they don't tell you anything. I don't know how you learn anything in these broker. I actually don't know. Because I don't know. Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. But what you just said is fascinating. If I knew that day one that the leads that I'd be buying might already be like in 20 other people's hands, why would I bother? What? Because I'm faster on the phone.
How many they're selling it to or something? Isn't that what it is though?
What was that?
Yeah. I get emails from lead providers and they say they're going to sell this to so many people. You can buy it if it's only sold to this many people, and then if you can pay this price if it's only sold to this many people. They give you
that might also be a lie. Is that a lie?
Yeah.
It depends which company you're working with.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
or it's 7 people that they know of.
Right. I mean, again, like, listen, there's always truthful companies out there. There's also shady companies out there.
I know, but if they sold a lead to 7 people, well, one of those people could have sold it to 10 more people.
Exactly.
Okay, there you go. So
exactly.
They're not lying, but it's not 7 people, which is still enough. I mean, this is one of the things that I don't understand about somebody that goes for the get-rich-quick broker scheme. What makes you think that you just took this class, that you're better on the phone than everybody else on the planet. What are we talking about?
That's an issue they run into. So that leads them to end up to lowballing the customer, because that's the only thing that they could do to
Getting
convince the customer to come with there.
There it is.
Exactly.
And that's exactly what happens to the bad carriers. They get desperate and they say, I'll do it for $50 less. And then once the broker learns about that problem, they're always on the phone saying, I've already got a carrier. Will you do it for $50 less?
Yep.
Right, yeah. They also do that. They want to negotiate with the carriers as well. Jay, there's also I spoke to Ty yesterday as well, and we were talking about, he's like, this industry, it is like, it's not performing as good right now. But here's the thing, though, right? We're also in slightly of an economic crisis. Thankfully to our lovely president, huh? There's a meme going around. If you want to impress a girl, it's not by buying a Lamborghini anymore. It's by going to the grocery market and buying out all the eggs. I'm not sure if you've seen these memes. This is what we're dealing with now. It's embarrassing.
Okay. Well, I want to say this. Okay. So I think the price of eggs is coming down, and I don't believe any president makes all the trains run on time. So I'm just going to say that. And I will say this. I'm going to go, let me jump on the other side of that. When I heard that Biden was bragging about jobs numbers, stop. What? You got on Indeed and hired 150,000 people? Stop. Okay? Because the economy's coming back from COVID. Okay? So unless you released COVID on the global society, which would be great, and now you're reaping the benefits for COVID ending globally, well then I don't know what we're talking about.
Also, due to COVID, there's been a lot of less carriers on the road, and unfortunately, a lot of people have become lazy. They're not willing to be truck drivers anymore. So that leads to being a lot of less carriers on load, and that leads to not enough loads moving.
Hey, and let's admit it. Who the heck wants to be on the road constantly monitored by all government and surveillance possibilities? You can't even take CBD oil. You're never going to be home. Nobody wants to pay you. Everybody's reaching in your pocket at every turn. I mean, wow, that sounds pretty good. I could do that or Taco Bell. Boy, oh boy.
Hey,
now that's awful, but it's not a cool job anymore.
John wants to know, Joe, how do you come up with the rate? How do you get your rate?
There's basically right now, we do know, depending on the season, again, it always fluctuates and all that. We usually most of the time look at the load board if we don't know the prices already, but my guys are good. I train them well, and most of them already know the prices off the bat, basically during the routes. It's just, again, the carriers we're dealing with. We have thank God we have a vast majority of carriers we do deal with in our network. So we know what they're bidding on. We call them to confirm, are you going to be open this week? We know what their prices are. We're trying to get the lowest amount we can because, again, we're dealing with shady people. We're dealing with scammers out there. And, again, even if we do knock off the price by $200 for these carriers, these guys are still lying to the customers, and they believe that they are beating us by $600 to $800 per load.
All right, here's a question. So will new technology solve some of these problems and drive out some of these bad actors?
Yeah, 100%. If Central Dispatch takes the right approach, it will lower the quantity of scammers in our industry.
Okay, so there are many companies working on digital solutions to connect carriers to shippers. Now, I don't know all the semantics of how exactly that works. I really don't. Because let's say you're a POV. Let's say you're a POV shipper. And you go on your phone. Don't you go to Google? How are you going to find out about this direct shipper to carrier app? Although ChatGPT is here to change the SEO game. So I don't know.
Well, you're saying they want to cut out the brokers now fully?
Well, so there are I'm going to say it again because I think that I want to say yes, but there are new technologies, yes, that will take out the carrier phone call scam that ideally, as a shipper, even a first-time shipper, I can go on my phone, find an app that'll find me a carrier, and I never had to get scammed with any phone calls or BS.
Well, most of the customers we deal with on a day-to-day basis, and most of the customers, I would say, the average shipper company deals with, they know nothing about the industry, so they believe that they are talking to the truck drivers
And
themselves.
this is the biggest problem. That is, to me, that is the heart of the problem. Even a dealer, even an auction, they think they're talking to an authority in auto transport. And this has become, I think, the giant problem. Is everybody says we're best in the universe. How do I know that's not true?
Right.
How does anybody know that you're not the best in the universe?
I mean, by
I
looking
said
at
I
reviews.
was. We're number one. And if you go on Google, how many companies are number one? I don't
A
mean...
bunch of them.
Right, they're all number one. They're 5-star, number one geniuses in the galaxy. And this is where, again, I think the Central Dispatch rating is a step in the direction of saying, you're not number one in the galaxy.
Right.
But I
mean,
don't know if it'll fix
what
it.
is different. What is difference between the rating that they're gonna? I'm not sure. No, I joined
know.
the YouTube video a little late.
Well, it's
I
the
was
shipper
watching-
that needs to see. The shipper's the one that needs to see, oh, this guy shows up at midnight demanding another $100. That's who you're dealing with.
Right, but don't they already have a review system? What's going to change between the review system they have right now and the other one?
You're asking a really
Totally
good
different.
question. I don't know. What is it? Well,
It's
Sue, you
way
answer.
different. Here's the problem with the new. I mean, there is good things about the new rating system because you're going to be able to rate them differently than what we used to. But the problem is this: they're not going to monitor any of this stuff. So you could get some crazy ratings on there where people are writing all kinds of crazy crap, right? And it may not even be true, but they're not going to do anything about it unless you're cussing in there or something like that. Isn't that what they basically said in that one that we did?
Well,
the other
and that
day?
brings us back to one of my favorite arguments is, how do you launch a technology that's basically like a robot broker, but
Right.
you aren't a broker, you don't need a license, you don't have anything to do with it?
Right.
I don't get it.
Yeah.
Now I know
mean,
people can. Yeah, take it, Joe. Do you understand what I said? Do you see
Right,
that?
yeah, I get that, but don't they need the proper licensing? Isn't it illegal
Okay.
for like a?
There you go. Has anybody? I don't even know if we can. I think it might not. I don't think you can ask this question, but I'm going to do it anyways. Dear Central Dispatch, are you a broker? Do you need a broker's license to be Central Dispatch? Does anybody know?
I mean, back in the day, I don't believe. Okay, so dealerships are allowed to be on Central Dispatch, but they're not allowed to make a profit on the load.
Okay, but dealers are allowed
They
to
do.
post vehicles for transport without a broker's license, correct?
I believe so.
Okay. So dealers
believe
have a
they need an NC
loophole
number.
because they're taking possession of the vehicle. I think that's the thing.
Well, but
You can-
import exporters don't have a broker's license either.
And
I
I'm
mean,
with, and they don't need one legally?
per this.
Okay,
No.
but Central
Transporters
Dispatch
list what
doesn't
cars
own
ship.
any of the freight it's arranging for shipment of.
Right.
Now they're not taking payment, but I mean, it is a marketplace. So you don't need a broker's license if you're a marketplace where loads are posted and transacted. And I have no dog in this fight. Man, I don't care. But I'm asking the question because I think it's a good question.
Right.
I mean, you don't.
Um,
I don't know.
the thing is, I don't think you're allowed to.
Because can a store sell whatever they want and nobody from the government walks in and goes, yeah, no, you're good. I mean, you just,
No, of course there's regulations. Of course.
okay. So there's
They're
no,
not regulated. Yeah.
okay, but is there no regulations on Central Dispatch? Because I go back to my wrestling pictures. Can you do whatever you want? I mean, why can you do whatever you want on Central Dispatch? Why? Because everybody does do whatever they want. Why are they able to do that?
because they built their system up in a way that they can do that. That everything is almost automated. They just have to, speak to their dev team to make sure there's no bugs, everything is running correctly. And again, they don't care. They don't care if you're a scammer. They don't care
Why
if you
does?
started yesterday. They
All
just
right.
want to charge your subscription every single month to post on
I'm
our
not,
load board.
yeah, I won't argue it, but why does eBay care? Doesn't, or I should ask, does eBay care? Does
Yes,
Amazon care?
I would say eBay cares a lot more than they used to in the past.
All right,
Now, like
Yeah.
if you screw up with eBay one time, you are banned, and they ban your IP address.
There
as
we
well.
go. So
Yep,
why
you're right.
does eBay care, but we don't?
I mean, because
Are-
okay, I'll explain.
Are they
I'll explain this to you,
Christian?
right?
I mean, right? Is eBay owned by the Hobby Lobby group and they're Christian and they believe in people? What's the difference?
I'll explain it to you.
Okay.
Right? Amazon. Okay, so eBay started before Amazon, right? They saw that Amazon overtook them. They did. Then they are skyrocketed through. Now, for the only way for eBay to exist, right, is for them to become a lot less scammy. There was a lot of scams happening on eBay, and they're like, if we don't crack down on this, we're going to fully go out of business. So again, Central Dispatch has gotten very comfortable at being at the top, that they don't care. This is their motto. We can do whatever we want, and you guys either shut up and listen or get off our load board.
All right. So how long is that going to work? Because I've been asking that too. That's where load board news comes in. I mean, Central Dispatch is still. What's the volume, Sue? 37,000 current loads?
Yeah,
I
about
think-
37 and change is what.
All right. And what's the second highest load board? 10% of that?
I think like Super Dispatch,
let's-
maybe.
Yeah,
Super
Super
Dispatch was
Dispatch.
next because I think we looked it up last week. It was like 3,900, right?
So
Um,
how long until any load board truly competes with the volume of Central Dispatch?
Honestly, the other load boards, they need to put someone in charge that is very aggressive. And here's the thing, though, they're so comfortable with working with Central Dispatch. Most of these carriers, they don't understand English. They don't. So they're very comfortable with it. They're already used to the system. I like what I like, right? And they see that there's no reason for me to hop onto another load board. There's more than enough here. Now, I don't know what an approach another load board has to take to get a bajillion and one other carriers to sign up with them and to come to us. Because when Central Dispatch starts feeling a little nervous, when they start getting a little nervous and a little sweaty, that's when everything's going to change. That's when they're going to start taking motive. All right, how do we stay number one now? They're very comfortable being number one. It's like the same thing happened with Coca-Cola and Pepsi.
Well, it's funny you said, because I always thought the J Tracker incident is so bizarre.
Oh yeah,
What's-
they also own a.
What's the J Tracker incident, Joe? I mean, I'm just throwing you into the wolves, but what am I talking about?
Right. So what happened was, so JTracker, Central Dispatch owned JTracker. It was their personally owned CRM. I used to be on that because what other CRM to work with than the only load board I'm working with, right? I've worked with plenty of the load boards. None of them hit except Central Dispatch. And what happened was that they decided to switch it. I forgot what was the name of the new CRM they're working with. What's the name, Jay?
Bats.
Yeah. And Bats, one of those
By the way,
owners.
Joe
own
and
a lot
I
of
haven't
transport
even
brokerage.
spoken about this, and we have the exact same information. Okay.
Yeah, and they also own an auto transport brokerage. So like, let's look at which competition's bringing in the most money, because now they have access to it as well, right? They see, okay, how's this company?
That's
Where are
right.
they getting their leads from? They see the sources as well, because it shows on your CRM portal. It shows you, source from this lead provider. Oh, this company's bringing in the most money. How are they doing it? Are they doing it through dealerships? They see the numbers better than anyone else does. So now they're going to use those advantages in their own company. And that unfortunately leads
I've heard this complaint that the load boards are looking at the data of the brokerages to do what? Then get that client as their own customer? I don't know. But this is a concern. And I think this actually leads to the fragmentation of mobile apps. Because now that nobody trusts each other, everybody wants to be using their own mobile app so that they can control the data.
Right. I mean, listen. If I was the owner of Bats, I'd be doing the same thing. Okay. I own an all transport brokerage. I'm also a CRM provider to many of my competition as well. Let me see which of my competitions are doing better than me because I see their numbers. I see how many deals they're closing, and I can also see where they're getting their information from. So is the best company closing dealerships the most? Okay, and now I had the information to those companies as well. Everything I need to know about that company, I have it. Pickup, pickup date, pickup origins, destination. How many vehicles are they moving? What is how much are they getting? How much is that company charging them? I have their phone number as well. I'm gonna call them now. Now I see everything. I see this company that's moving dealerships. I see everything. I'm gonna switch all over their client base to mine, and I'll provide with these rates.
So we're going to finish with one more news item, and then we're going to wrap this up. But this is incredible. If you thought you were insulated from all this crap because you haul for OEMs, guess what? GM is buying 400 trucks to transport its cars to dealers faster because they are sick and tired of working with third-party logistics and auto transport business providers. There you go. So nobody's safe. So if you're a super trucker and you're on Facebook and you think you got this thing, guess what? GM just said, nope, you're not safe either.
It's very unfortunate. The thing is, though, they're gonna have to. The GM, General Motors, is gonna have to invest a lot of money to keep this up and running. You know, trucks are
Totally
expenses with their own.
Okay,
That's okay, we'll bail them out again.
Okay, there you go. Exactly. Yep, exactly. We'll just get, we'll bail them out, right? You're too big to fail. You're GM.
Yeah.
Okay, so check this out. But here's the thing. Once they get, it's kind of like when you like hire more police officers. Well, how are you ever going to downsize? Let's go with military. Yeah, stick away from the bad idea, Jay. Let's go with military. Jay's idea on this, take two. Okay. The U.S. sets up military bases in other countries. Well, once that military base gets set up, what are the chances it's going to get shut down? Not good. That's why we have like 4 kajillion military bases around the world. Same thing here. Once they get in, once they start buying assets, training people, and all this stuff, you think they're going to stop? No. Carvana's in auto transport now. CarMax is in auto transport now. You think they're just going to get out? No. So there's now a new auto transport business on the block, and it's called GM. Welcome to the party. And it's not going to be easy. It's not going to be fun. It's not going to be cheap. It's not going to be any of the awesome stuff that was mentioned on the top floors of this building at whatever point in time they thought about it. Luckily, nobody at the top is going to have to be behind the wheel. But we know how this is going to go. It is not going to be pretty. But why are they doing it? You mean they couldn't find, in all the kajillions of super truckers on Facebook, they couldn't find reliable auto transport? Why? Because too busy duck hunting? I mean, what is going on? What happened to us?
I feel like they got screwed over too many times, and they're like, "That's it." You know what happens with the POV customers? You know, they just have PTSD. That's it. They are corporate. You know, corporate can't be messing up. They're not a shed in a third world country. You know, so we have to make sure when we promise a client his car by this date, he's got to make sure he gets it by this date. You know. Because when you're dealing with BMW, you're dealing with corporate. They have a name. They have a status to hold. And when you're dealing with a third party, auto transporters, it leads into ruining their name, and they don't like that. So they're taking an approach to do it themselves. But this is the first time I'm hearing about this. The GM's buying the 400 trucks.
It's brand new news. Well, I think it shows many things. Number one, everybody thinks they can do it better. And number two. Yeah, well, there you go, Daryl. Then there's unions, which you can't win. When you're pro-union, you can't win, and when you're anti-union, the union rolls over you. You really can't win. I know. And without unions, everybody, it'll be slave labor city. So, because capitalism works the best. And then I just said that, now I'm getting kicked out of the country. I don't know what you do, but this is nuts. This is nutty information, and it's real. And by the way, I just read today that GM is now, they're going to have a exclusive contract with their own microchip provider. So it's almost like, yeah. So now the OEMs, and the OEMs have already gone after the dealers. They want to do an agency model where dealers are just places where vehicles sit and they act as sales agents and they don't do anything else. OEMs want to be the silos. Funny, because it's shaped like a silo. OEMs want to be the silos, the kings, and just tell everybody else what to do. Oh, and by the way, everything's going to be EV.
Right.
Good times.
So Jay, let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Do you have any approach that you believe can help scrub out the shady scam companies, the ones we're dealing with on a day-to-day basis?
I'm going to pass. Sue.
Yes, sorry. Hold on, I was answering a question in here. Say that again.
Yes, ask it again, Joe, please.
Do
And thank
you guys-
I think this is a pretty good show. Yeah.
Do you guys have any solutions on how we can take an approach to like scrub out and make those and to scrub out the scammy companies and make them go out of business, or not to
really.
deal with them?
I mean, honestly, this has been going on since the beginning of time. I mean, this has always been happening, and it's probably gotten worse over the last, 4 or 5 years.
It has. It has. I would say 80 to 90% of the shippers are doing this. It has grown.
But think of this, though. It's not just them. Do you know how many transporters list cars on here? I mean, I will tell you sometimes 40% of the loads on here are transporters listing cars. That's how bad that is. So they're doing the POVs and they're taking the customers from the brokers as well, because Central lets them list the cars. I have gone over this with them repeatedly for the last, how many years, Jay? That transporters should not be allowed to list cars. They're not a freaking broker. They do not have a bond. I've tried to explain this to them. Then you know what they told me? I've got an email that says exactly this. They're not allowed to list the cars on Central. Not true. I send them to them every single day. Pictures of transporters listing cars.
What do you mean by transporters? Carriers?
Carriers that list cars on Central Dispatch on a regular basis.
How do they get those clients?
Well, that's just it. Are they stealing them from you guys, the brokers? Or whoever they just dropped their last car off of? You know how many times I get this. You guys did such a great job. Here, next time, I will call you to dispatch this car to you, or you guys do this. This happens all the time. So then they go and they list it on Central, because Central allows transporters to list cars, even though they say they don't.
Right. I mean,
we've been scammed thousands of dollars by transporters doing this and not paying.
Honestly,
they've literally taken United Road loads that they had for themselves and listed them on Central Dispatch. And we called United Road about it.
So again, this all leads back again to Central Dispatch. It always does. Yes. There needs to be another load board out there that makes Central Dispatch get nervous, get a little sweaty. Then they're going to take the right approach. They're like, all right, they're going to take the same approach eBay did. eBay's doing very well, actually, by the way, because of the approach they've taken. They actually have. They used to be all full of scams and all that, but now if you screw up once with them, if you mess up one time with them, or you get or a buyer reports you on eBay, you're not even your account is banned. Your IP address is banned. And you know, I have one of my buddies in the e-commerce, and he's been like telling me about this. If you screw up once with eBay, they're like worse than Amazon. You know, you can mess up with Amazon a couple of times and they'll forgive you, they'll pardon you. But Amazon's almost the same way. They will ban you. They will ban your social security number. They will ban your IP address as well. And Central Dispatch needs to take the same approach.
Yes, I totally agree with you. However, they're not.
They're not.
Right. So I'm going to show you. You just made me think of. So when I saw this one's for Ty. Sam Bankman-Fried. When Sam Bankman-Fried got kind of totally busted, there was this moment with Maxine Waters where she had this really weird look on her face. Like, my guess is, I'm speculating live, that she knew about the scam before everybody else. So let's translate this to what we're talking about right now. It would appear that somebody knows all about the scam already and is hoping it doesn't come out. Because if it comes out that somebody already knew, that there was a lot of scamming going on, it could cause a problem and change in the business model. That could be where we are. And it could be, in an attempt to divert, nothing to see here, we have a new system we've updated and it's awesome. It's a guess, but all roads lead back to
Central Dispatch.
True. Yeah.
And it's very unfortunate. And again, we just need another load board to step up, be the runner up, and get them by the throat, and be like, yo, we're upping our business. We're getting 1,000+ carriers on our load board a day. If you guys don't do something, we're gonna take your spot. And then hopefully that'll get the ball to start rolling.
This is where, like, we make the joke about, like, the peasants continue to gather around the wall. And there's somebody at the top of the wall going, nah, we're good. It's not that many.
There's so many people who have tried to take out Central Dispatch. It has not happened yet.
But if the day were to come,
Yeah.
hey, wait. No, there's a lot more now. Oh, man. They're over there,
Sucks,
too.
But it's a monopoly, unfortunately.
What are we gonna... Whoa. Have you seen over on this side? Holy mackerel. So...
I mean, I feel like someone needs to take the approach to boycott Central Dispatch. It's the only solution.
And by the way, I am not proposing that. We are a channel hosting a conversation. But,
right.
I mean, my gosh. And if we stay this fragmented as we are, fighting on Facebook about ramps and whatever, I mean, I can't believe it's 2023. And here's what I really can't believe. I can't believe no association is trying to talk to other associations or groups or weird podcasters in any meaningful way to try and... It's nuts, man. I can't believe we're still doing this. Yeah.
This leads back to what I was saying, right? How embarrassing it is that this industry is so cutthroat.
It is embarrassing. That is embarrassing.
This industry is pretty boring. You know, that's why you don't see like a lot of people talking about it. It's not like the NFTs, the Bitcoins, this, that, you know. It's a boring company. It's a boring industry. So for a boring company to be this cutthroat, you know, that is what's like still boggles my mind. And we have to figure out a way to beat it, or, you know, no everyone's just gonna get hurt. Scammers not listen, at the end of the day, if this continues to happen, scammers will go out of business, lead providers will go out of business, authentic companies will go out of business, carriers will go out of business, and I don't know what to do at that point.
Well, it's funny you say, because whenever I talk to a shipper, I mean, it's rare. But if someone says, you know, hey, what do you think? I was thinking about shipping my car from here to... I'm like, can you just drive it?
Yeah.
Right? See if you can drive it. Do you have a cousin that, you know, has a few days? Throw them a few $100. Have your cousin drive it. You know what I mean? And that's a POV. I'm not talking about dealers. Although, this is what's interesting. And this is where the GM story comes in. And dealers are doing it too. Everybody's like, you know what? Forget everybody else. We're just going to do this internally. That's what everybody arrives at the same conclusion. I'm just going to do this. I'm not farming this out. This isn't working. Which is interesting because, you know, this should be a legitimate, functioning service.
Unfortunately, it's not.
It's not, yeah. Unfortunately, I mean, and here's the thing. Here's what's important. Here's the takeaway. There are carriers that are working to move vehicles, and they're hardworking, and they're trying to run a business. And so to hear this is like really depressing. The reason we're sharing this depressing information, because this is the reality of eating off the load board. Now, I'm not saying you can't continue to do it, but this is the nature of how bad it is. So if there are other ways to build your running lane, look into them.
Right.
And if you haven't started yet, think about what we're saying. We're not just, you know, Yeah, but honey, we're gonna be great. We don't need, I hear them guys. We totally
Honest,
got this.
my word of advice is I don't believe anyone should hop into this business.
I don't know why anybody does. I say it constantly. I can't believe it. And thank you, guy with your dog on the side of the highway, because somebody else just got convinced they're gonna make $1 million with their truck. Awesome, dude.
Awesome.
Awesome. Okay. Hey man, Joe, thank you so much for joining us. That was really, really interesting. It was fun too.
Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate you guys.
Thank you.
You guys are doing God's work. Thank you so much for everything.
Thank you very
A
much.
shout out to Ty as
Thanks.
well. God bless him. I hope to be on soon, and I hope next time we're on, there is some progress in the midst of our work in our war that we're dealing with.
Well, keep us posted and send it in to autotransportintel@gmail.com. Send in your comments. Send in those crappy rates. Send in the marketing material. I want to read it. I want to understand. Send it in,
Right.
autotransportintel@gmail.com. Thank you so much, Joe.
Thank you guys. Take care now.
All right,
Bye.
take
You
care.
too.
All right, see ya. All right, so, well, that was interesting. We were doing a show, I think it was a Tuesday night show, and we had I think it was a carrier. And, took the call, 1 hour goes by. That's what just happened. But it was really a fascinating hour. That's what, that's what community and contribution is all about. Here's what I want to say, too. In freight, there is a freight legal advisor lady that she's got this, share your crap website, and she's trying to do that, too. She's trying to, expose bad actors in freight.
Yeah.
But my gosh, what? How did, after 10 years of that, how did it go? Did it help? Did it do anything?
Yeah.
Because I think we did identify. It's fine. You can have a bulletin board of crappy people, but it isn't going to really change anything in the marketplace, is it?
No, because especially if we're talking POVs too, because they're not going to see that. You know what I mean?
Exactly. What new shipper is going to see all the crap in the updated ratings?
Yeah.
None, right? None.
Not.
Literally none. And
No.
aren't those the people that need to see it the most?
Yes, I think they are. Because dealerships and stuff like that have the background. They know what they're supposed to look for. They know, that kind of thing. But the average person, when they call to get a quote, they do not understand anything. You have to explain to them, because they always ask, do you have insurance? Yes, we have insurance, but you still have to have your own insurance on your own car, and you can't put things in your car. You can't do this. You can't, and this is what they're going to do. They're going to give you a bill of lading. They're going to inspect your car. They're going to do it at pickup and delivery. None of that is explained to them. They are no clue unless they've had this happen before. And usually when I get the call that they've had it happen before, something bad has happened. And they're just wanting to be comforted that it's not going to happen again.
Hey, and DDD asked a good question. Why is no one making claims on bonds if all the scamming is going on?
Well, what do you mean by that? Because bonds are only on the brokers, and the only scam.
If you get scammed if a carrier scams another carrier by brokering a load, there is no recourse.
No, there is no recourse.
Yeah, there's nothing you
And
can
if
do.
a broker were to scam a transporter, yes, you go against a broker bond.
But how does that go?
Yeah, well, it depends. I've had companies go out of business, and we just got a little bit of a piece of the pie of what we were owed because there were so many claims out there.
Can't you just change the name of your business after a year and then you just do right?
Yeah.
So that's the thing is, again, I think this is getting a little bit ugly, and I think the pitchforks are starting to gather because it always comes back to the marketplace, and this is why I think in the long run, if a technology can be built to connect shippers to carriers,
Right.
now the shippers are getting the crappy carrier reviews.
Right.
Yeah, me too, John. My
Yeah,
head
I
hurts
agree.
too. But I think that's what I think the answer is really coming back to the marketplace. So until the marketplace changes, nothing really changes.
Right. I agree.
Yeah. And that's why the eBay conversation is fascinating. Because who scams on eBay?
Well, mean,
I
I've
don't
been
know
scammed
the
a few
answer, but
times,
I
yeah.
don't think it goes very well.
No, you get your money back. I've always gotten my money back when something
Yeah.
didn't arrive, or if something wasn't what it was supposed to be, you send it back, you get your money back.
Can we
And this
introduce somebody from eBay over to the mail slot?
Sure.
They're like, it's like Aldi and Trader Joe's. I think those guys are cousins or brothers. Did you know that?
No.
Yeah, so Aldi, low cost, decent quality groceries,
Uh-huh.
but limited selection.
Right.
And then Trader Joe's,
High
all
end.
kinds of interesting import, higher quality, higher price. I think
Yeah.
they're brothers.
Oh, really?
What
Well,
if we
I'm
came to
sad.
find out that eBay and mail
Yeah.
slot were like brothers? And they sit around at Thanksgiving and they're like, your tech sucks.
Yeah.
You scam people.
Yeah.
You scam people. And he's cutting his chicken. Well, you're the. Don't tell me I'm a scammer. I'm a scam you. You scam. And then mom comes in with another plate of turkey. Like, boys. Okay, that got weird. I want to thank everybody for tuning into today's live show. This was very, very interesting. I was hoping it would be a great show. Are we all going to be canceled because of our comments? Probably. But thanks for playing. No, Vance, you forget. Nobody cares. Nobody watches this. Get back to work. You silly.
Go find those non-existent loads,
Yeah.
Vance.
Vance just kids. He's just such a kidder. Thanks a lot, John. Thanks everybody for tuning in. What do we say, office?
What do we say, everybody? Goodbye, Sue.
Goodbye, Sue. All right, thank you so much, everybody. We appreciate it. Please do be sure to join us again every Thursday, Dispatching Live. Boy, you sure never know what you're going to get. And also tomorrow, we got special guests on Cars on the Move. Bill and Ben of Buy Here, Pay Here of NIADA. You are going to want to tune in and learn more of what they're talking about. Because if you've had enough of this crap, it's time to tune in for Cars on the Move. Thanks a lot, everybody. Stay safe, stay warm, and we'll see you soon. Peace out.
See you, everybody.
Thanks.